Hey everybody, welcome to Take 5. So, I have more books than 5 today. Whoops. Happens frequently. Alright, this is a travel one, so lots of different travelings. Think about where you would like to travel in a book or in real life. So just one day is a time spent in Paris between Willem and Allison. They have one day together and it doesn't end well. It totally changes them forever. They both can't stop thinking about it. And then just 1 year is the sequel. And so the sequel, Willem realizes circumstances happened that were out of his control and he couldn't get back. And now he's kind of mad at himself and annoyed, and he spends kind of the next year traveling, sort of trying to find her and trying to figure out what to do next with his life. And this does end nicely. Kind of ties things up a little bit. This one, April Linder, sorry. This is actually a retelling of forget who the classic one is. Oh, Room with a View. But you don't have to know that. It's fine. So, Lucy is backpacking through Italy. She is loving Italy, falls in love with everything, and then finds herself falling in love with a street musician. So she returns home and then can't stop thinking about him, and maybe he feels the same way. The Summer of Us. This one goes kind of across Europe. It's right before Aubrey leaves for college, and she's not ready for college, but she and her best friend Ray have this group trip that they've planned. They're going to go from Paris to Prague, and also Florence and Barcelona, and then some secrets come into light, the secrets, come out of the darkness, and things don't go that well. But, they're all abroad, and what happens with the trip. Alright, Love Boat Taipei. This is a story about how Wong's parents sent her away for the summer to Taiwan for this strict educational program for summer. But the people there are not really there for strict educational things. They're really mostly there for romance and nightlife and things that are not what her parents thought she was going there for. So she's kind of finding herself in this freeing spot, and she can do anything she wants, and so she thinks, okay, let's see what's going on. So that's always kind of fun. I Love You So Mochi. This is about a girl who is going to Japan for spring break. She and her grandparents have kind of been estranged. So she goes to Japan, and it's kind of familiar to her, but she also feels like a complete outsider. But she has a great time kind of seeing all the touristy spots and the outdoor markets and the cherry blossom festival. And then she meets a boy, and, things get serious, and she's like, oh, how am I ever going to leave this behind? And in Kristen Ray's Wish You Were Italian, she goes to Italy, and she doesn't think that she's going to go alone, but she actually ends up going alone. And she's like, okay, I'm going to make the best of this. So she was going to go for this art program, and then she kind of ditches the art program and just kind of travels. And she meets this cute American guy everywhere she goes, and she's like, I can't, you're not Italian. And, so, things happen, and does she actually end up with the right guy? And then we've got Dear Haiti, love Elaine. A prank goes wrong, and Elaine is kind of shipped off to Haiti to learn more about her heritage. But she kind of discovers that her family relatives have this curse upon them, and it could be this secret about why everything is so strange with everybody. So she's determined to break it. But there's a lot she has to do, and there's only a certain amount of time she has to do it. Wonderlost by Jen Malone. This one is about a girl who she ends up taking over her older sister's summer job as a tour guide on a bus through Europe. And the bus is for senior citizens. So Aubrey does impersonate her sister. And she doesn't quite have the skill set, but she's got a huge binder of things. All of these pre-planned programs and things that she's supposed to say. And she doesn't quite go by the book. And there's also a boy who is the tour company's owner's son who is there. So she's pretending to be her sister, and he thinks she's the sister, and it ends up a little bit dicey. But it's really interesting. They end up going through Austria and Sound of Music country, and oh my god, it made me want to go to Austria and do a Sound of Music tour. Alright, and last, there are 4 Days of You and Me by Miranda Connelly. So Alex and Lulu started dating freshman year. They have a really cool thing in their high school where they have a field trip every year. So the first field trip is in a science museum, and they end up getting stuck together in an escape room. And then the second one is in, I think, an amusement park. And so they start dating freshman year. I think the sophomore year they break up. They're kind of maybe thinking about getting back together. The third year is in, I want to say New York City. And then the fourth year, their senior year, is abroad in London, I think. So it kind of goes between like the past and kind of the present. So the present is like the senior year. So it kind of talks a little bit about like freshman. So it goes with like freshman year. So freshman year we'll talk about the field trip day, and then we'll sort of talk about like the past things that happened that year. And then it'll be the sophomore year, and then past things that happened sophomore year that led up to that point. And then the same. So the timing part is really interesting, and you kind of have to pay attention to it. And I'm just going to show you one of the... So that's like today and the junior class trip. So, and then it will be... Sorry, let me find one others. The summer between sophomore and junior year. So it's a really fun read. I love Miranda Connelly. She writes really great books. And that's it. So where would you travel if you could?